Morning, Victors. So, going through the journey, I've come to the conclusion that there are two types of people. There are the people that see where they want to go and just go for it. And there are the people that see where they want to go and only notice the obstacles that is stopping them from getting where they want to go. The good thing is, I've been both people, so I understand the perspective of both. All right, see, I understand how the obstacles can stop you and how you feel like it's such a big deal to even just try it. Example, at my last job, leaving to go pursue something else was hard, especially during a pandemic. That was the obstacle. It wasn't the leaving was the hard part. It was the pandemic and everything shutting down being quite the obstacle when I decided to do this. All right. But I took my eyes off the obstacle and I started putting my vision on the goal. And the goal was at the time to find a new career. I didn't care when it was. I knew it was time to make action though. We can't. And so what helped me get to this point to just looking at the goal was just massive action. And it's hard and it's scary sometimes, but the reality is this: we're all this far away from reaching our goals. And this distance is right here. So we need to control our thinking. We need to attack these goals and we need to go after what we want to do. So I just wanted to share that today. Morning, Victors. So I know we've all heard the saying, with great power comes great responsibility. And I was always curious how people actually got to this great power. And I've come to the conclusion that you get to this great power with the great responsibility. Okay, let me explain. This great responsibility that you start taking upon yourself to be better, the best version of yourself, the responsibility to just do the things that need to be done in your life. Will help you get to this great power. I'm going to go into more detail. The responsibility, say you want it, first example, money. So say you want to just buy a house. Okay, it is your responsibility to make sure your credit's right. It's your responsibility to make sure you have your bills paid. It's your responsibility to make sure you're doing everything financially correct in order to have the power to buy the house, in order to have the power to invest in the business. It takes that responsibility to get to this great power. Okay. Another thing is even mentally, the responsibility you take for your actions or for your lack of actions it's up to you. And it's up to you to take that responsibility and be accountable for yourself to get to this power, man. It took me, for myself personally, at my last job, I'll use that for an example. The showing up on time, I started becoming more responsible. I started showing up on time. I started going above and beyond. And it led to me getting into a management position. Then that led to me kind of outgrowing the job and still building myself and taking responsibility of my life has led to me having more power in my life, more power over my life to where it's going, the direction that it's going. So to recap, with this great power comes great responsibility, but in order to get to this great power, you gotta have great responsibility. So that morning, Victors. So going through the journey, before I started doing my personal growth, I used to have the feeling like I was so busy. When am I gonna have time to do this? Okay, I was getting up at midnight, going to the gym. Okay, I would work out. I had to be at work at 3 a.m. So I would work from 3 a.m. until about 1 p.m., pick up my daughter, make sure to spend time with her. Then I would actually go back to the gym, hoop, and I was in basketball leagues. Like, I was staying active, okay? And so I was thinking to myself, like, God, I want to be better, but when do I have time to do this? And I remember just hearing Tony Robbins saying that we all have the same 24 hours. And I need to, basically what I came to the conclusion was I needed to leverage my time better, but I didn't know how because I was going to the gym, I'm working, I'm hanging out with my daughter, and I'm in basketball leagues, and I'm staying active. And what I had to realize was, one, just because you're active doesn't mean you're productive. Okay, so I was confusing my activity with production. Two, it was up to me to figure out what to do with this time. All right. So I remember sitting down and really evaluating my day and saying, hey, I actually have a lot more time than I thought because I have a lot of commute time. So I started using that commute time from driving to the gym, driving to work, to start just building myself and start listening to the Jim Rohns, to the Tony Robbins, to the Les Browns. I started using that time to better myself. And I also had the benefits of listening to headphones while I was at work. So instead of listening to music, I started listening to personal development books at the gym while I was actually working out. Instead of listening to music, I'm listening to those guys, to those inspirational speakers, and just taking in this positivity. And so my big point is, as far as leveraging our time, it's not going to just show up for us. We're going to feel like we're the busiest people in the world. It is up to us to look for this time that we can use to build ourselves and to grow ourselves. And it's up to us to find this time to leverage, to build ourselves. So, morning, Victors. So going through my journey, I've always considered myself a super grateful person. If something was going on, if someone was doing something for me, I always took the time to really let them know, thank you. I really appreciate that. Where my life took a big jump mentally is when I started being grateful when nothing was going on. So I started taking the time each day in the morning, right when I woke up, and at nighttime before I went to bed, to just say 3 things that I was grateful for. And boy, you want to talk about a positive mind frame and just putting this amazing energy into you. Think 3 things you're grateful for in the morning. It sets the tone to your day, and you really, it almost puts you in this like, I can't be bothered mood because you started your day out with this positivity. And I really wanted to share that today because it's really helped me elevate my life. And when they talk about gratitude is attitude, I now understand what they're talking about. So I really wanted to share that with you guys today. Morning, Victors. So one thing I was thinking about this morning was every problem that I've had every ability to be part of the solution. All right, I'm going to give you a couple examples. In California, I was working 2 jobs to maintain my apartment and be able to pay bills, and it was 2 like minimum wage jobs at that. And so I'm working like 60 hours a week just for the bare minimums. Like, it was awful. And so that was my problem. My problem was I was making very little money and I was working 60 plus hours. Okay, that's my problem. I ended up coming up with a solution, which was to just find a better job. I am not really one to advocate working more than one job. I don't think there's a reason to when there's so many jobs out here that just pay more. So that's what I did. I ended up finding a job that just paid me a lot more so that I didn't have to work 2 jobs. So that was my problem. That was my solution. Another example, though, that took a little longer was my son's mother and I. We weren't getting along very well at all. And so we were fighting like cats and dogs. And so I remember she was keeping him away from me, and it had been like 2 weeks since I had seen him. So when I was going to pick him up, I had all kinds of words ready. And I remember before I pulled up, I decided, like, I'm done being part of this problem. I want to be part of this solution. And we got out the car, and I just said, I'm Team Maverick. That's all I said. That's my son's name. I was like, I'm just Team Maverick. And she let me have it, and I just wouldn't feed into it because I was sick of being part of that problem. I wanted to be part of the solution. I wanted to be a part of just being able to get my son and just go. And so I refused to feed into that negativity. And so my big point is, every problem that we have, we can be part of the solution. Some take longer than others. Some are instant, like finding a new job. Some take a commitment, and the commitment that I made 2 years ago is still going strong now, to where we're still cordial and we talk, and it's cool that we can figure out what's going on with my son. And so I really wanted to share that today. Morning, Victors. So I was thinking about this morning how failures aren't a sign. And when I was younger, I used to feel like they were. And a great example was when I actually was a personal trainer for a while. And so, at the beginning of the year, personal training is huge. Everyone has their New Year's resolutions and everyone's all gung-ho about getting in shape. And then as the year goes on and you get to the summer, stuff kind of dies down because people usually have or haven't hit their summer bodies, but they're living their summer life and then it fizzles out. And so I took that when I wasn't staying consistent, wasn't consistently making money, as a sign that maybe personal training wasn't for me. But in all reality, that was just a test to see how bad I wanted to be a personal trainer. These failures aren't signs, these failures are tests to see how bad we want whatever we're asking for. Another great example, in my opinion, is relationships. Listen, a failed relationship doesn't mean that you don't want love, right? A failed relationship was just that. It's a failed relationship, but it's also a test to see, like, are you going to get back on that horse and put yourself out there to be in position to be in love? These failures, man, they're so deceptive, man, and they will haunt you, and you feel like they own you, but no, you own it, you accept it, and you just move forward, because that's what you're supposed to do. A failure isn't a sign, a failure is a test. So I just wanted to share that with you today. Thank those of you that bought your 30 Days to Inspired Living task books. If you're looking to create action, hit the link above me. Today is Support Sunday, so put something supportive in the Inspired Living timeline. We're going to stop saying no to our dreams and start saying yes, yes, yes to our dreams. I got kids, so I'm tired, but I'll be here tomorrow to help us live inspired.